It is easier to win NBA championships and Super Bowls when the path is easier. We know Michael Jordan. We suspect he's the best basketball player of all time. Many believe that. But when the Pistons with Isaiah Thomas were in their prime and the Celtics with Larry Bird were in their prime, Michael couldn't get to the finals. And then those teams got old and the path was easier in the East. And then he won, and Magic and the Lakers got old, and the path got easier, and he never had to really face great teams in the finals. It was Barkley's Suns, Gary Payton's Sonics, Clyde Drexler's Blazers, good teams, not all-timers. Belichick. It's amazing how easy it is when you always get a bye home field advantage because the AFC East is terrible. It's amazing how that works. There is this sense that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to go on a 12-year run, and it's going to create a litany of Super Bowl trophies. They'll have to build rooms in Kansas City. But remember, they're going to have to pay him. This year his cap hits $5 million. Next year it's 22, 21. After that, it's in the 30s. After that, it's in the 40s. You better win now. Because look at the current AFC quarterback roster. Look how many great young quarterbacks are in the AFC. Mahomes, 25. Watson, 25. Baker, 25. Josh Allen, 24. Burrow, 24. Lamar, 23. Justin Herbert, 22. Trevor Lawrence, 21. I won't count Justin Fields because I don't think he's a guarantee to be a star. In the NFC, we're not talking about what could really happen with Aaron Rodgers. Is it going to be Aaron, who's 36, has 5 to 6 years left, that goes on an unbelievable run? Brady's a year or two from retiring. Breeze is retiring. Alex Smith, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, and a bunch of young quarterbacks. Goff, Trubisky, Carson Wentz, Garoppolo. A lot of meh, a lot of I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a much easier path, even in Aaron Rodgers' division. Minnesota's not going to live with Kirk Cousins forever. Chicago's eventually moving off Trubisky. Stafford's not the future in Detroit. It's going to look like the AFC East. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers and 3 teams trying to figure out quarterbacks. And Zimmer's a defensive coach, and the Lions may hire Robert Saleh, and he's a defensive coach, and those are not wizards offensively like Aaron has with Matt LaFleur. We're all talking about Mahomes dominating this league. He's got Justin Herbert in his own division. Good luck with that for the next decade. It looks like to me Aaron's got this runway of 8, 9, 10 years, and the only other star is Russell Wilson. That's it. That's it. And Russell had to just get his OC fired and has the worst offensive line of all the star quarterbacks. So I know you don't think I like Aaron Rodgers, but I look at the runway, and the runway is, for Aaron, is Russell Wilson and a soon-to-be 70-year-old head coach who's more of a defensive guy. It's like, all right, that's one. You may not even have to play them in the playoffs. Somebody else could knock them off. I mean, Mahomes is just going to have this. I mean, Josh Allen, many believe, is just as talented. Lamar's not, but is a better athlete. And I'm not even counting like Justin Fields. I'm not counting Tua. What if Deshaun Watson goes over to a better coach? So it's not a knock on Kansas City. I think it's remarkable. And in a lot of instances, this is really all about one thing. AFC general managers moved up to get Lamar, moved up to get Mahomes, moved up to get Josh Allen. In a lot of instances, AFC general managers were just smart, super aggressive, and moved up to get star quarterbacks. I don't know. Kyler, I guess, is the real star in the NFC. He's the one guy we all believe is kind of magnetic. And I don't doubt that. I don't think he's Mahomes or Josh Allen, but I do think there's some real talent. Maybe Jalen Hurts becomes that. But it's a lot of Carson Wentz, Trubisky, Goff. And then it's a bunch of Matt Ryan's getting old, and Stafford's getting old, and Breeze is going to retire, and Brady's going to retire. And that's Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and a lot of we don't know. I think the Packers got a long runway of Super Bowls if Aaron can stay upright. Supplement I take every day is M-Drive, powerful ingredients backed by science, muscle leaner, a little more energy. Go to mdriveformen.com today. Greg Cosell, NFL Meat Sandwich on a Thursday, live in L.A. Next. The two of the three don't love defense, but there's something to it, right?
These are three amazing basketball players. I think, Colin, this is a really important point to point out, is that we can all be critical of Kyrie Irving, not just, people say like, hey, take all the time you want. Like, we don't actually mean take all the time you want, Kyrie. We want you to play basketball. But whatever he's working through, it just doesn't feel right. And he's hurting the rest of the league that is really forward thinking in terms of valuing mental health. That said, I think if you ask most people in the NBA, or you used to ask me, like, Kyrie Irving's probably the most talented point guard. He can do things others cannot. So it is just tantalizing talent. James Harden, tantalizing talent. Not just a great scorer, but in 2021, he gets layups, hits threes, and gets to the free throw line. That's how you're supposed to play basketball offensively, and he's a great passer. Kevin Durant, I believe, was the best player in the league before he got hurt, and he's picking up where he left off. So before we talk about all of the things they don't do and all the questions we have, like, the reason is because we think they're all awesome in terms of their talent as basketball players. The question is, does it actually mean they'll be a great basketball team? And that is going to be fascinating to watch with somebody like Steve Nash, who's never done it before, being their head coach.
You know, Durant's an interesting guy that, listen, it's the burner accounts. Broussard said it yesterday. He's a follower more than a leader. By the way, so are most athletes. It's okay. There's very few quarterback personalities. But it's interesting. He left the Warriors because in the end he wanted a little more credit. And now if they win with Kyrie and Harden, he won't get all the credit. It's like he went to a less functional version of the Warriors. And that's what it's become, right?
Yes. There's two. I do think that the move out of Golden State, or the move first out of Oklahoma City, was because he sat there and said, I'm the best player in the league, and I just don't have the space. I just don't have the guys around me to show. And then, look, he beats LeBron in the finals 2 straight years and is the better player, and LeBron's guarding him. And he had the 2 dagger jump shots in LeBron's eye from the same spot in the same series, and, wow, they just have too many guys. Like, hey, look, LeBron with the Cavs, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Hall of Fame players. Okay, glue guy at power forward, Tristan Thompson. Same thing, but no one ever points that out. All they say is LeBron's in the GOAT conversation, and Kevin Durant had to join the Warriors to win a championship. So he searches for this respect, right, for the admiration, not of his peers, but of people like you and me. And he goes to Brooklyn because I got to have another guy. He does. And, oh, yeah, by the way, one of the reasons that Kyrie and KD both like Brooklyn was the culture. Well, they destroyed that culture. Now, here's where I will give him credit. If he can make it work, if he can make it work with James Harden, who doesn't play defense, and Kyrie Irving, who, when he was in Boston, Colin, and they were playing the Bucks in the playoffs, their basic game plan defensively was everybody's going to switch except Kyrie. We do not want Kyrie guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. And you know what Kyrie did? Kyrie said, I'm going to guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. And how did that turn out for him? Right? He is, to this point in his career, virtually uncoachable. And to this point in his Nets career, virtually uncoachable. Doesn't want to be coached. If Kevin Durant can make this work, I actually think it might show that he's a much better leader than we've ever given him credit, and a much better player historically than we give him credit, even though he has 2 other super talents around him.
Urban Meyer, listen, he cherry-picked a good gig. I mean, he's got a house there. He's beloved there. It's not a vicious media, so he'll be treated well. He gets Trevor Lawrence, $70 million in cap space. It's a weird division where there's no Mahomes. There's not even a Justin Herbert. Deshaun wants out of the division. It feels like it's going to work, right?
Yes. Again, this is percentage chances of working. Urban Meyer, I think you have to be smart enough to know what you don't know, right? That's what really smart people do. I think he does. I think he'll hire a very, very good staff. Because his offense, the college offense that he ran, I don't believe that'll work, although some hybrid of it, we've seen different versions of it working now. in limited instances in the National Football League. What Urban is great at is, and I think you pointed this out in your show, is player evaluation, because they have a ton of a dearth of draft picks, okay, and they have to find a way to use those draft picks. And he's recruited all of them. He's coached against all of them. He's viewed all of them as an analyst for Fox. I think that part is, but the other part is he's an amazing leader. As you know, and we know, inside the building of Big Noon Kickoff, he made it into the best show on TV. Okay, it is the best college football show on TV, and the reason is his leadership. He allowed Matt Leinart to be Matt Leinart and Brady Quinn to be, and then it all kind of fed into his analysis, and he would share information that he had. He's a great leader, and I think his ego is in check, because the difference between college and pro is when you're in college, it's all about the head coach. Everything's about the head coach, and your egos sometimes go out of control. When you get to the pros, it's still about you, but you've got to make everybody think it's all about the players. And Urban can do that. He has done that on television. He's done that. He's shown he can do that even